fast. Don't bother to write it down. Don't bother to write it down if you didn't do it. Give yourself the 0. Be honest, because it doesn't matter. If you need to watch it later, it will be recorded. Ashni. What? I don't know. Looks like there's recording levels. Oh, merci. C'est parfait. I agree. D'accord. Y equals negative x squared plus 10x minus 18. Y plus 18 equals negative x squared minus 10x plus 25. Negative plus minus 25. Y minus 7 equals negative x minus 5 squared. Y equals negative x minus 5 squared plus 7. Vertex equals 5, 7. Axis of symmetry, x equals 5. 2 marks for that. Over here, y plus 69 equals negative 2x squared plus 12x plus 36. But it's really minus 2 times 36, so it's minus 72. Y minus 3 equals negative 2x plus 6 squared. Y equals negative 2x plus 6 squared plus 3. Vertex equals negative 6, 3. Axis symmetry, x equals negative 6 for 2 marks. Stop me if you need to, but you shouldn't because you're just marking your own work. Graph each equation. 4, negative 3. No stretch factor, but it's negative. So over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 2, down 4. I went too far there. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I didn't. I went just the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. 1 mark because you're only graphing a picture. Negative 3, 0. No stretch factor. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. Over 2, up 4, and there's that one. Stop me if you need to. This one is tricky. You had a couple of options. Some of you expand or die. I, of course, used the roots because the roots are 0 and positive 3. Halfway between 0 and positive 3 is 1.5. So the vertex is 1.5. 2 times 1.5 is 3. 1.5 minus 3 is negative 1.5. 3 times negative 1.5 is negative 4.5. That is the vertex. It is a minimum. It is a minimum of negative 4.5 at 1.5. And the graph looks like this. Boom. 2 marks there because you had to be able to graph it and understand all this terminology. This one is 5, 1, halfway between 5 and 1. Oh, sorry, 6 and 1, you idiot head. Halfway between 6 and 1 is 3.5. 3.5 minus 1 is 2.5. 3.5 minus 6 is negative 2.5. 2.5 times negative 2.5 is negative 5.25. I lie. Negative 6.25. So it is a minimum. It is a minimum of negative 6.25 at 3.5 for 2. Making the whole first page out of 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 10. 10. Rah, rah, rah. Any questions? Once. Twice. Thrice. Aaron. Sure. Fine. No problem. Don't care. Use this information to write the vertex form. Vertex form, x plus, I lie, x minus h squared plus q, forgot the a, y equals, you have a y and an x right there, 2 equals a bracket x plus 7 squared minus 145. Solve that for a. There. Then you sub in your 0 and negative 145. Sorry. This is 2. Now I'm set. There we go. Plus 2. Now you put that in and you solve it and you find that a equaled negative 3, I believe. So y equaled negative 3, x plus 7 squared plus 2. That gets you 2 marks because you had to know what to do with it. Opens up or down. What? So y equaled plus or minus a, because it had to open up or down, x minus 3 squared plus 5. You subbed in 0 and negative 4, and you got, I don't remember. Now I actually have to do the math. 9a plus 5 minus 9, negative 1. A equaled negative 1 or positive 1. So it was y equaled plus or minus x minus 3 squared plus 5. If you forgot the plus or minus, give yourself 1.5. Yes.
Can't you just sketch out the vertex and then it passes through those points and find out what it's down?
No, it's asking, it's saying that's what I thought.
No, but you can find, you know that it goes.
I saw it saying that's up or down. It's saying it can open up or down. That's what I thought it was asking.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're reading it as, does it open up or down? Fine, no problem. Take full marks. I agree. No problem. No problem at all. Same thing here. It's the exact same thing. Y equals, let's just leave it as a. X, just x, because there's nothing there, squared plus 5. Then sub in 1 and 6. 6, 1. A equals negative 5/6. Right? 5 divided by... No, 6/5. Sorry. 1. Negative 1. Negative 6. Minus 5. Yep, just 1. Passes a equals 1. But as Preston says, if my vertex is 0, 5, it's up here. And if it's going through 1, 6, it's got to be a positive one. So it would be y equals x squared plus 5. Vertex here is negative 3, negative 3. I went over 1 and I went down 2, which means it is y negative 2 x plus 3 squared minus 3 for 1 there. And this guy, my vertex was 0, negative 3, and I went over 1, 2, and down 2.
Pretend it should be positive 3 at the end, right?
No, because it's a negative y. So this way I went that way 2 and down 2. I should have gone down how far? I should have gone down how far when I went over 2? 4, but I only went down 2, so it's half. Y equals negative 1/2 x. don't need anything to add to x, so squared minus 3. Making that page out of 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Math, math, rah, rah, rah. Now, apparently my good friend Jacob Rankin got in a fight with somebody in this class about what I meant by that instruction. What I meant was you shouldn't have to use a calculator at all. But since I know that if I ask for 3 times 14, all of you reach for your calculator, what I at the very least meant was no graphing calculator. Aight? Vertex 5, 10, 1 mark. X equals 5, 1 mark. Range, not X, you idiot. Y is less than or equal to 10 for 1 mark. Max or min, it is a max is 10 at 5, at x equals 5 for 1 mark. Graph the function. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over 1 down 3. 2 away. Over 2 down 12. 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Tall and skinny for 1. Y-intercept. Y-intercept is when x is what? 0. Y equals negative 3 times negative 5 squared plus 10. Negative 5 squared is 25. 25 times negative 3 is negative 75. Negative 75 plus 10 is negative 65. For 1. X intercepts exactly. What are your choices to find that? How do you find the x-intercepts exactly when you know the... You got to find the roots. How do you find the roots from that? Quadratic. Y equals... Nice job, Aaron. I only give 4-star reviews. It is. That's what I just said. I only give 4-star reviews. Sure. Negative 3x squared minus 10x plus 25 plus 10. Negative 3x squared plus 30x minus 75 plus 10 equals negative 3x squared plus 30x minus 65. And there's your A, B, and C. And of course you end up with negative 30 plus or minus the root of 120 over 6. And of course you would simplify 120 because it's 4 times 30, which is 6 times 5, so 4. You bring out a 2, so that's 2 root 30. What? Yeah. So that's 2 root 30, so it's going to be negative 15 plus or minus root 30 over negative 3. Of course, that is where you would stop because I said I wanted them exactly. If you stop there, you get your full 2 marks anyway, because I'm in such a good mood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Graph the function. The roots are at -2, +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The vertex is right in the middle. -2 and +6 is 6 minus 2 is divided by 2 is. So the vertex is here at x equals 2, right? When x is 2, that's going to be what? What's my y value? -8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? Is that right? So when I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, I should go up 16, but it's half, so it's 8, so we are correct. So graph the function for 1. Location of the vertex, 2, -8, 4, 1. Y-intercept. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because, of course, it's not 5. That's a bad graph. Y equals -1/2 x squared minus 4x minus 12. Run that through. Y equals -1/2 x squared plus 2x plus 6. Y-intercept is 6. That makes no sense. Oh, because it's not negative, you idiot. 6 makes perfect sense. -6. For 1 mark, making that page out of 11. Okay. More than one option. I want vertex form. Do you need to see all your options? How many people did complete the square? Because it's barfy. You did complete the square? Want to see it? Or do you have faith in yourself? Okay, so 1 was complete the square. I would never have completed the square here. Why? Because it's a fraction, yeah? I mean, I know I'm going to deal with a fraction anyway, but I would not have completed the square here. So that is y plus 18 equals -x squared plus 9x plus half of 9, 9 halves squared, 81 fourths. So then here I subtracted 81 fourths, and then I carried on. 81 fourths is 20 1/4, yes? This is, I'm going to use decimals because you people think better in decimals, 20.25. So 18 minus 20.25 is negative what? 18 minus 20 would be negative what? 2, but it's negative 20.25, so it's negative 2.25, yes? Y minus 2.25 equals negative x, damn it, plus 9 halves squared, yes? Y equals negative x plus 9 halves squared plus, that is 9 fourths. So what's your vertex? Negative 9 halves, 9 fourths. Oh, wait, that's B. Sorry, I just wanted it in the form first. That's going to go right there. Now, I, of course, would have used negative b over 2a, or you could have quadratic form. No, not quadratic formula. You could have factored and use root 1, root 2 divided by 2. Right? Negative b over 2a would equal vx, then I'd sub that back in. Or the third option was y equals negative x squared plus 9x plus 18, which would have been negative x plus 3, x plus 6, and then those are your roots halfway between them, and then sub that back in. Right? Then you would get your vertex, then you would be in this form. Cool? 2 marks for that. Because no matter how you slice it, it was a lot of work. Location of the vertex. Will I accept this as decimals? Yes. Does it make me happy? No. It makes me a sad parabola. But some of you will have negative 4.5 and 2.25. Axis of symmetry, x equals negative 9 halves. Range of the function, y is less than or equal to 9/4. I think it was negative, right? Yep. Max or min, it's a max at negative 4.5. Because I've already said what the y value is, so just saying a maximum at that x value is cool. Graph the function. Oops. Now this is kind of yucky, yeah, because it's decimals. You have a few options. Yes, McKenna?
So what if I did the math wrong for 3a, but then I took that vertex, which is wrong, but I did
Then 1 all the way down.
Okay.
As long as you use your right. And that's how I would mark it on a test too. Right? You'd lose 2 for the first one, but, you know. Sorry, where was I? Oh, we're graphing. 1, 2. I would do this. I would say 1. Oops, I did it backwards. I need to be over here. I would go negative 1, 2, 3, 4.5 and up 1, 2 and a quarter. And there was no stretch factor, so when I went down 1, I would have gone, oh man, I screwed up with the scale. Just do that. I don't care. Y-intercept was negative 18, I believe. Negative 18. X-intercepts exactly were negative 3 and negative 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 is 9. And I think that's it. So 9 and 11 is 20, and 8 is 28, and 10 is 38. Now, I remind you, you have 2 upcoming tests on this stuff. One is tomorrow, open book, graphing calculator allowed. Allowed, not necessary. Okay? I'm not grading on your ability to use the graphing calculator. But if you want to use it on tomorrow's thing, you can. All right? There is no need to. It is perfectly doable with a regular old-fashioned calculator. Friday, not Thursday, because Thursday is a 40-minute block day again, because of X block. Friday is a test day where you're on your own. They are both written on the board right there in green. Aight? Satjo. Whatever it was out of, man. 1 for everything except the top thing was out of 2. Just like the previous 5 questions. Everything except the first one was out of 1. Just count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. You will report this score on tomorrow's open book test. Tomorrow, right there is a pile of graph paper. You're welcome to use it. Don't worry about it. If you're the kind of person that likes to do the work, like you don't want to use the graphing calculator, if you're like, oh, I don't have any graph paper and I hate sketching a graph, I have some for you. You may use it. All right? Any questions? If you don't have a graphing calculator but you would like to use it, I have 18 of them. You will leave me your phone and I will lend you a calculator. Yes, Aaron. I'm not sure what you mean. A systems question. I don't know, maybe. No, I really don't know. I haven't given the test in a year. I don't look at it again. I just push Control P. What? That's Control V.
I realize.
But now, because I'm going to make fun of you, I'm going to colon P you.
Oh, no.
Colon P. Colon P. You stick your tongue out.
In the French culture, they call them smileys.
Oh, do they? They also say courrier électronique. Unless you are in France where they go email. No matter what the French language police say. They also don't call the Paris subway a metro. They call it a trome. Because in Paris slang, they reverse syllables like that. And then they wonder why people hate the French language. Because they do crap like that in it. True story. What? Accent aigu ou accent grave ou accent circonflexe ou accent cédille? Quoi? Circonflexe, aigu, grave, cédille.
How do you even do the one on the bottom? I just do a little...
Cédille.
down and it goes back. I just go back.
It's a 5 without its hat. Now, one thing French is missing is the good old-fashioned Spanish tilde. I miss a good tilde. Like piñata or mañana. All right. Okay, zip it. The next unit requires a very good grasp of algebra and a very good grasp of a 9th grade concept that I have already dabbled in this year. I have already dabbled in it. You have seen it because I knew it was coming and I did not want it to sneak up behind you like a zombie in Walking Dead, like those idiots that keep getting snuck up on from behind. The zombies growl. They don't walk quietly. I don't understand why it's ever a surprise. They're always going, no. So, please turn to page, 126. Paper cut? Aye. Solve it. This is not one of those times when I tell you to solve something easy and I'm trying to trick you, which is apparently what you all think is going on. I just want you to solve that. No, I'm not. Here is where I am trying to trick you. Why is the answer 7? You're warm, Sam. Preston? You're warm, Preston. Thank you, Manroop. Because 10 minus 3 is 7. You do inverse operations. Sam, I said you were close because you were balancing the equation. Last time what?
Before we said because 10 minus 3 equals 7, no, I said why?
No, because when I usually ask that question, now you're confused. When I ask that question, usually you all go, because 7 plus 3 is 10. That's when it's wrong. Because if that were the case, then all of you could solve this immediately in your head. Well, sure, because it's blah, because that plus 3.213 equals that. No. So the point I'm trying to make is you do the opposite, yes? All right. Now, what is this one? X equals 4. Huh? Why? Because 11 minus 3 divided by 2 equals 4. Excellently done, grade 11s. All right. Ruh-roh. Row, no. X equals 0. Why? Because 14 divided by 2, you don't even need the brackets because you do bed mass, minus 7 equals 0. Everyone is good at algebra, yeah? All right. Now, what do those 3 answers, what characteristics do they share? No, I lie. I colored the wrong thing. Wait, rewind. What would you say the answers to those 3 equations share? There's no right or wrong answer. What would you say they share? Manroop, what did Harsh tell you to say? Yeah, he did. I watched him lean over. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying. Harsh, did you tell him to say something?
I did.
Not this time, but last time you did.
I was wrong.
You were, oh.
Last time you didn't say, I said 7 plus 3 equals 7.
Yep, I only get 1 star. Okay, so, Manroop, what do they share? Pardon me? Good, they are indeed all whole numbers. What if I changed this to -2? What would this answer be now? -4. So now what are they? All integers. Okay, good. What else? Remember, I'm talking about what do the questions share as a characteristic. Jasleen.
They're all solving for
They
X.
are all solving for x. One single value. Agreed? All right. So all of these equations yield a single answer. Right? Everyone agrees? Okay. What if I gave you this? Isn't that an equation? What are the answers to that equation? It's a 2, man. 7s have the cross. This is tricky. What are the answers to that equation? How many answers does it have? You're all about to write a test on quadratics. Somebody tell me how many answers that equation has. 2 identical answers, so they appear as, which is -1, right? So that still fits in this, yeah? Right? We could argue that that is a single answer, yeah? Okay. How many answers does that equation have? 2, which are what? Yeah? Right? Everyone agree? Yeah? Everyone agrees? Okay. So, yielding a single answer is a little dodgy. Yeah? It can be misleading, yes? So, yield. How could we change that? Because right here we have an equation that gave us 2 answers. They yield an answer. So you want to change it to yield that? Preston?
Like the answer, yeah, with the S in the bracket.
You like that?
Yeah, maybe, or are the half the if there's more than one, do the same.
I'm not trying to be mean. We're just talking, right? We're just talking. This is review stuff. We're just talking. No matter what I do with an equation, okay, let me ask you this. We'll make it a little easier on you. Could you put everything highlighted in blue on a graph? Could you? Okay. What kind of graph would I need? Would I need a Cartesian plane, or would I just need an x-axis right now? I would just need an x-axis right now, yes? Okay. Where would this guy be? The pink one. Where would his answer be? Where would this guy be? To the right. So there is 7. Agreed? Okay. Where would the gold one be? Left. -4. Yeah? Where is that pink one? Or that's orange. Where's orange? Right there. 0. Okay. Where's this guy? Left. -1. And where's this guy? Both sides. Everyone agree? Okay. And if I wanted you to graph them, all you could do is this, yes? It's just a single set of dots. Everybody cool? All right. So now let's change this to x plus 3 is greater than 10. Now what happens? There's no equal to. So McKenna says x is greater than 7. Right? I'm not saying if she's right or wrong. What did you do, McKenna? You did the same thing we did for an equation, right? You did the inverse operation, yeah? So what you did, your work, you solved that, yeah? Right? Everyone agrees? Okay. So if we were to put that on a graph, there's 7, yeah? Okay. So 7 is the answer to this in red. But we have this in gray, right? So what does that line at 7 do to the number line? It splits it, yeah? Right? Okay, so now all of these numbers on the number line are what? Greater than 7. What are all of these numbers? Less than 7. I need the number for x that will make this true. What's the easiest number there you can see to check with? 0. What is 0 plus 3? 3. Is 3 greater than 10? So is 0 part of the answer? No. So the answer is out here. X is greater than 7. Now in the 9th grade you learned that you put an open circle there. Why? It can't hit 7. Can it hit 7.00001? Yes. But it can't hit 7. Right? So what's the major difference between an equation and an inequation? Which we don't actually say. We say an inequality. What is the major difference? There is more than one. There are infinite answers to a single variable inequality. Everybody understand? Right? Okay. So what if I gave you this one? 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 13. What would you do? The work would be as if it was equal, right? So what would you do? 2x equals 10, x equals 0, 5. Yes? What have we done to the x-axis? Split it in two. I have all the numbers to the right and all the numbers to the left. What's the easiest number to check? 0. What is 2 times 0? What's 0 plus 3? Is 3 less than or equal to 13? It is less than 13, isn't it? So that means 0 works here, doesn't it? So that means I color in that part. Do I circle or not? Well, I circle. Do I color it in or not? Yes. I color it in. Why? Because it can hit 5. Everybody should be remembering this now, yes? We have seen it in the 9th grade. We saw it in the 10th grade when we did domain and range of linear functions, yes? We've seen it in the 11th grade when we were doing restrictions, right? It comes back to visit in many different topics, yes? But it's not really ever enough to be a topic by itself, right? So we keep sprinkling it in. It's like tarragon. It's really nice to have around, but very rarely are you going to sit down and sprinkle tarragon on every piece of food you eat, like salt and pepper. Right? Never mind. Tarragon was just the first herb that popped into my head that was not very widely used, but is quite delightful. It tastes a little licorice-y. All right, so stop. Negative 3x plus 7 equals 28. What is the work you are going to do? you're going to do negative 3x plus 7 equals 20. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be greater than or equal to. Sorry. Equals 28, right? So negative 3x equals what? 21. X equals what? Negative 7. So there is our x-axis, yes? Now, Ashneet is already saying you have to flip the sign because you divided by a negative, right? That's what you're going to say. And everybody's taught you that, yeah? But I, of course, like to discuss why, as always. What's the easiest number to check? 0. So right now, we would say x, because it was pointing to greater than, we would probably, if we weren't thinking and just working really fast, you might leave that there and then color in there, right? You might do that. So, as always, I say don't rush. Always you have time. Check. What is 0 plus 7? 7. Is 7 greater than 28? No. So is 0 part of the answer? No. So I have to go that way. And what do I do here? Close dot. Are we all good? Everybody remembers this stuff from back in the day, yeah? Yeah? Okay, so you do this one. Oh, damn it, I did it again. Less than. While I'm thinking up the question, I forget that it's supposed to be an inequality. And then graph it. Well, make this graph of your answer. Do we have an answer? Do we have an answer? Zach? Negative 4 is this answer. X would equal negative 4. 0, negative 4. How do I color it in? It's going to be an open dot. Where's the highlighting going? It's going right. X has to be greater than negative 4. And we check with 0. What's 0 plus 4? 4. What's 4 divided by negative 2? Is negative 2 less than 8? So 0 is part of the answer, which means everything on that side is part of the answer. Are we all good? Are we all good? Yeah? Okay. Now wait for it. Sorry. We'll just do that. You guys are ticking me off.
Sorry.
You know we're doing inequalities. Obviously, I want an inequality there. Oh, right. Good call. Yeah. Yep. Good call, Ash. Well done. I'm ticking you guys off. What do you need, Sam?
Alright, for the last one, I'm not sure if I just did my algebra wrong, but I got 3x is less than negative 20. I don't know if I got it. Because plus 4, when you move it over to the other side. Yeah, that's right. I got that too.
Oh, should that have been negative?
Yeah.
Negative 16. So that was 3x plus 4 equals negative 16. Oh, that should have been minus 20. Yeah, damn it. That should have been negative. That's what happens when you make it up out of your head. Now it checks out. Okay, now wait. I got to make sure I did this one right. Yeah, that's cool. So what are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? Okay, so 9 is not, well, no, let's write it out properly. 13 equals 3x plus 4. 3x equals 9. X equals 3, right? There's 0. There's 3. So what do we do? So we check with 0. What's 3 times 0? Plus 4? Is 13 less than 4? No. So we got to go over this side. Solid or not? Solid. Because it's equals. Right? Now, let me ask you this. How would you graph that? You've got the answer. How would you graph it? Two. What would I do? What do I do with the 2? Open circle. And which way does the arrow go? Right. Because x is greater than 2, right? Right? Okay. In red, how would I draw this? Exact same thing. Because 2 is lower than x. So that means x is greater than 2. That is the last thing that messes you guys up with inequalities, when you don't put the letter first. Everybody cool? Now, I would just like to remind you, the way you prove that is you want the letter on the left, yeah? So what would you do with that x? You'd move it over here, and what would it become? Negative x. Then you'd move that over there, and what would it become? Negative 2. And then you would divide both sides by negative 1, right? So when you divide by negative 1, you flip the sign. Everybody cool? Everybody remembers this stuff from back in the day? Yeah? Okay, now I went a little crazy and ran out of room. So I just want to show you something. You don't have to. We've been doing this, right? Yeah? And to put that on a graph, I only need one line. Why? Because there's only one variable, yeah? Now what? How do I graph that? You don't solve for y. It's in slope-intercept form. What do you do? How do you put that on a graph? Where do you start? Anybody. Slope-intercept form. The y-intercept, which is what? The y-intercept is 3. Then what? You just graph parabolas. It's the same thing, man. I go over 1 and up 2. Right? Because this is the slope. It's a straight line. Yeah? Everyone agree? And it would look like this, correct? Now, you're intelligent young people. If you can graph this, and you can do this, and you can turn this into this, then you should, by logic, be able to turn this into that, right? Right? Okay. What is this entire construction made of? Forget the line. Coordinates. What is every coordinate made of, Jasleen? An x and a y. What's in this equation? X and y. Agreed? So if I were to say put a dot right there, that dot would be x, y, wouldn't it? And where can I put x and y? Into there, yes? Okay. What's the easiest pair of coordinates to work with on the Cartesian plane? 0, 0. Right? That point right there, 0, 0, correct? Okay, what would go in for x? What's 0 plus 3? 3. What would go in for y? Is 3 greater than 0? Yes. So is that part of the answer? So what does that mean that point, that point, that point, that point, that point are? Are they going to be part of the answer? Were all these points on the x-axis part of the answer? So are all these points going to be part of the answer? So what do you think we do with this right-hand side of the graph? Color it in. What? Because we checked on the x and we checked on the y. Everybody cool? And that is where we are going. That is the basic foundation of the whole unit that we're about to do. Instead of just splitting the number line in two, we are splitting the entire coordinate grid in two. When it's a line. Now let me ask you this. What happens to the coordinate grid when I bring a parabola to the party? It's pretty much the same, isn't it? There's all this yellow space, and then there's all this green space, yeah? Everybody cool? And do you notice that our good friend 00 is still in play? That's where we're going. Everybody cool? It is 2:06. I do not wish to go any further. You have a big test tomorrow and Friday. What? What kind of questions would you like to see? Do you want to do some of those practical ones with word problems? What do you want?
Can we do one of the systems?
Sure. Yep. Let's do a system one. Now, due to the fact that I have been horribly embarrassed thrice today, making stuff up out of my head, allow me to just jump to a textbook here and get an actual question that I know will work, so I don't look like a tool. Because as you all know, your opinions of me really affect how I go through my day. What is funny is I'm being facetious, except for the fact that those of you who know me a little bit know how critical I am of myself. And the fact that I did that thrice today, I do feel like an idiot. But it's got nothing to do with you people. I already feel like a moron. And what did you want to do? Right. Okay, let's find one, shall we? Let's see, page 206. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look-see here. Huh? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. Let me find some graph paper. Who's having chaw? I love chaw. Who's having some? And why didn't you bring me any? Okay. Okay, so let's get this bad boy graphed.
You really think the Earth spins on an axis that makes us have time? Nah, we fly. Look, I have some emails for the phone. No, we're not.
Oh, that's a bad one. Damn it. No, that's a bad one. I want to find you a good systems one. I'm doing the best I can. Don't be that way. Okay, here we go. This one will do. This one will do. This one will do. Okay. Oh!
Did you still need me to come in?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, There is a system parabola to solve. No, that would be... Oh, wait, no, it's supposed to be 0, 1. Sorry. 0, 1. There is a systems parabola to solve. I will put the solution to that on the end of tonight's video.